The number one reason for breakup that I have seen personally is sexual incompatibility. When you are sexually incompatible, you immediately think there's something wrong with your relationship and that like other aspects of relationship also turn out to be incompatible as well. Sexual incompatibility doesn't mean that your relationship is doomed if two people are willing to do the work, communicate, and compromise. But the thing is, it's really hard. When you meet someone who is actually naturally compatible with you, then you can also do the communication and compromise, then whoa, the relationship runs a lot smoother.
Sexual incompatibility happens to a lot of couples, but people don't like to talk about it at all. It's not always a big scary problem. Sometimes it just means that one person wants more intimacy than the other. Sometimes it means they like different things than what you like. And sometimes it's not even about the intimacy. It's about the other problems that are in the relationship that are showing up in the bedroom. The issue is people think it means we are done instead of just talking about it. It's also a hard thing to talk about because it feels personal. If you fight about money, well, that's normal. But if you have a problem with intimacy, it can feel like it means you are not loved or you're not wanted. So people stay quiet instead of talking about it. That's why I wanted to see what other people are saying online. So let's go through these videos and see what other people think.
I tell y'all this from personal experience, okay? There is nothing worse than being in a relationship with someone that you are not sexually compatible with, okay? Especially when you're sitting there trying to change yourself for them, or worse, you're trying to change them to accommodate your needs, okay? It's like being black and going to a Klan rally, all right? It's not gonna work out. Y'all be making yourselves miserable. I was a victim of this as well, okay? I was always on demon time. My ex, she tried her best. Okay, it was the effort that made me feel loved and appreciated. In person, the effort was there. Over the phone, not so much. We be watching Netflix or whatever. I'd be like, yo, you trying to watch me be my meat? Ew, gross, disgusting. Okay, I could live with that. That wasn't bad. What I've seen on the internet and like stuff that my homeboy went through, for example, my homeboy's ex didn't give sloppy toppy. Now, me personally, I wouldn't allow that kind of negative energy in my life, but as long as my homeboy's happy, I'm happy. But every day, he would complain about his girl not giving him sloppy toppy. So eventually, he would hit up his throat goat and he would cheat on his girl. And I would be like, bro, just leave her. And he'd be like, bro, you don't understand. She's a good girl. She's wife material. I just need some throat. That's it. No big deal. It's going to stop there. Unfortunately, my homeboy got caught. Fortunately, she didn't leave. She stayed. And he was on his best behavior for 3 months. But during those 3 months, he was absolutely miserable. Ended up going back to the throat goat. She caught him again, but fortunately, he left her. I have a homegirl who's been with her boyfriend for 3 years. 3 years. This man has yet to make her finish. She cheats on her boyfriend with her ex, and it's like y'all try to force something, and it's not there. You gotta just move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea.
Most of you are not in a bad marriage. You are just in the wrong one. And deep down, you probably knew before you said I do, and you just ignored it. Love is not enough. It never will be. And here's why marriages actually fail, and it's not what people say out loud. First is sexual incompatibility. Most couples don't even know what real intimacy is, okay? They've experienced one level, maybe two, and built a whole marriage on it. Desire matters. You can build skill, you could build connection, but you cannot force attraction. If one person is always initiating, if it feels like a chore, or if it's gone completely, that is not just a phase, that is a serious problem. Second is resentment. Resentment, we know it doesn't explode, it builds. Every time you stayed quiet, every time something hurt you and you let it slide, every promise that was broken and ignored. You're not arguing about one thing, you're arguing about years of it. And at some point, your silence becomes your responsibility. Third, lack of real compatibility, core compatibility, not hobbies, your personality, values, money, kids, lifestyle, morals, direction in life. If those don't align, you're going to collide, but not now, but eventually. You cannot love somebody into alignment. Fourth, there's no polarity, no tension, no edge, no attraction. She's in control of everything, running the house, leading the relationship, and then wondering why she feels exhausted and disconnected and resentful towards you. He's passive, avoiding conflict, sitting back, and then wondering why she doesn't respect him. Desire gone every time. And last, you grew apart. But again, not overnight, just slowly. You stopped talking. You stopped being curious. You stopped choosing each other. You stopped going on dates. You stopped spending time together, all those things. And now you're just managing a life together and you're not connected. It takes two people fully in. You can't carry the relationship by yourself. That's not love. That will be a slow burnout. And the scariest part is it's not even the fighting. It's the silence. Two people that literally lay next to each other and feeling completely alone. That's so sad. So make a decision, fix it fully, or be honest about what it actually is. But stop sitting in something that is quietly dying. That version of you is not living. They're just existing, and it's not fair to either one of you.
I think when sex comes into play and when we're on the side of feeling less than satisfied sexually, I think we feel superficial and we feel like it's not a valid reason to end a relationship, especially if their other qualities are, good character and you can trust him and other important characteristics. And while sex eventually fades, well, that's still a lot to give up. It sounds like you feel like to be with this guy, I have to really suppress my sexual appetite. I have to basically accept that maybe for the next 20, 30 years before I get old enough where I'm just like, I don't really care. And I don't, looks fade and it's not all about sex and relationships. I also think it's ridiculous to expect someone to jump into a committed relationship where they feel sexually unsatisfied. Because to your point, like you can be someone who's like, I'll never cheat and I have high character and, but as a human being, you are setting yourself up for putting yourself in compromising situations. And like, you can feel it that that if you don't get your needs met in one area, that temptation will approach you. There are sex therapists out there. There are people who can work with couples like you and your boyfriend and try to find some middle ground, maybe some exercises. But I think it starts with getting on the same page. I don't want to make you do something you don't want to do, but I don't want to feel like this in a relationship. So what do we do about it?
You could literally meet your compatible love of your life and then realize that you guys have no freaking spark when it comes to the bedroom, you know what I mean? You have nothing. There's no pizzazz. There's nothing in the bedroom. You could meet them. They could be the dream man, the dream woman, the dream them, and they're just not it. Because when you go there, there's nothing. Here's how to know that you're incompatible and that although you might like each other, it's not gonna work. Okay, have you ever been watching a movie together and then you guys get really anxious and stiff and like, no, that should not be happening. That's kind of a little red flag because it kind of shows like you guys aren't communicating enough to be able to like be mature enough to be able to watch this and, talk about it in a good way. It's kind of a red flag. Now, there's a difference if you just met somebody and you're just like super giggly, you guys haven't really done that. And this is like a scene and you're like, oh, oopsie, like we're going to do that. That's why I'm nervous. That's different. But if you're like uncomfortable, that means you guys aren't having enough conversation about it. So you can work on that, but it is a sign. As well, have you ever possibly, been discussing with your partner about your needs, their needs, and they're kind of like, yeah, I don't really need it. Like I could go weeks, days, months, years without it and be perfectly happy. And you're like, girl, I need like every other day. And that's just how it is. That's normal. But honestly, there can be just a difference in how you guys value and need and desire it. And that's really things you can't change too much. Like people are like that, guys, girls, they, them, like it comes in all different packages of like people's wants. So you guys might not be compatible. It might be a sign you got to end it. Next one though, it's less like upfront, but do you ever make a lot of excuses or like find yourself kind of trying to get out of it? Like girls, I get it. Sometimes you're just like not in the mood. Like your headache, your tummy hurts, like we're not eating enough food. So like our head and water and we're drinking a bunch of caffeine. I get it. Sometimes you just can't. But are you always making excuses? Like are you always trying to like, get out of it? I feel like that's a red flag because honestly, trust me, that's a sign like you're just not compatible in that relationship because honestly, no matter who you're with, you guys, unless you're like asexual or have a further, discussion about that, you should want to do it. And if you're not, there might be something else obviously more going on in the relationship, but it's honestly just a sign that you guys just might not have that spark when it comes to that department. And it sucks. It really does, but it's just a part of it. And honestly, the biggest and last thing is, do you guys just have different watts in the spark area. You know what I mean? Like they want to do some, I don't know, 50 shades of gray. And you're like, no, babe, baby. I like it very simple and sweet, very vanilla in the best way possible. That's just two differences. And you guys aren't going to find common ground. Now, obviously, one person could try somebody else's and you guys could compromise. But sometimes you don't want to compromise. Sometimes people have what they like, and that's the only thing that gets them to there. So that's just a big red flag that you guys aren't compatible in that department. It sucks. It so sucks when you find this person that you want to be with, but it's just not it. All right.
Do I believe in sexual incompatibility? Like, is that like, do I believe like in unicorns or do I believe in like UFOs? Yeah, that's a real thing that happens. And so you have two choices here. If you feel like you're sexually incompatible with someone, number one, you can work on it. You can decide that this person, I have everything else going for us and I really want to work on our sex life. You both are committed to making yourself sexually compatible. Or number two, you never were sexually compatible. You weren't compatible at the beginning. And as time has gone on, it's gotten even worse. Like you like different things. Your partner wants to be spanked and is more kinky. You like a little bit more romantic, sensual touch. Your partner has fantasies that you just like literally they're a no-go zone. I mean, this happens all the time. So either number one, you work on it, or number two, you decide that this person's not my jam and it's not going to work. And there is zero wrong with either one of those choices because you will find people that you are compatible with. And when you find them, you're going to know it.
You have to be attracted to a person before you say you want to get into a relationship with them. You see, that sexual part is very important. Sexual attraction to your partner is very important. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't think you can grow into being sexually attracted to them. If you're not sexually attracted to them off the bat, don't venture into a relationship with them because you would end up cheating. Sexual compatibility is one of the strongest pillars for a relationship. It's important for you to be attracted to your partner. It's important that the little thing they could actually do to make you aroused is something that they don't have to do too much for. Just seeing them in the sexiest way gets you turned on. Sexual compatibility is very important. Be sexually attracted to your partner before you say you want to marry or get into a relationship with them. That is very important. Always be in a relationship with someone you're attracted to. Very important.
Are you and your partner experiencing sexual incompatibility? Well, what is that exactly, and what are some ways that you can move through it together as a couple? So sometimes people notice that they have desire discrepancy. One person in the relationship wants sex more than the other. You also may experience a difference in preference. Some people are a little bit more kinky, some people more vanilla. You also might notice that one of you has more experience than the other. So coming into the relationship already having had prior experience and having maybe a bigger repertoire to draw from. So all these things are totally fine and natural and normal, and in fact, more common than uncommon. So there's some things that you can do to move through this together as a couple. One, the most important thing is to normalize it. It's totally fine. You're not the only ones. The second is to look at some ways in which you do match. So it's easy to just say, oh, there's all these ways that we don't, and kind of give up and maybe feel frustrated. But what about the things that you do have in common? And it might take a little bit of investigation to find those out, and that's fine too. The other thing is to really dedicate some space and time to explore things together. So if one person has more experience than the other, that doesn't mean that the one that doesn't have experience can't catch up. And especially in a really gentle way, you can lend yourself or lend your skills to your partner to kind of educate and teach them some new things. And thirdly, it's really great to work with somebody like myself as a coach or somebody else who can really help you stay connected as a couple so that you don't risk, fighting and having needless frustration around this topic, because it is so normal.
Don't marry someone you are not sexually compatible with. Sex is very important in marriage. Marriage is not just about love, wedding outfits, photos, matching outfits. Sexual compatibility matters too. Don't marry someone you cannot openly talk about sex with. Okay? It is very important that you discuss about sex before marriage. Don't hope that within marriage you're going to fix it, because sexual compatibility is critical when it comes to a relationship. Now, for a partner, you need to have healthy sexual conversations about pleasure, about intimacy, about satisfaction. It is very important. It's primordial. Your expectations, what you expect from your partner sexually. If not, it can be very frustrating when you go into marriage. Sexual compatibility is very important in marriage. And so remember, as you engage in a relationship that leads to marriage, discuss sexual expectations, your desires, your needs, as far as sexual satisfaction is concerned. It is very important.
I told you guys this 100 times. The only real deal breaker, like bona fide deal breaker in a relationship, is going to be a lack of sexual compatibility. Because that leads to infidelity. That leads to, distrust and not even wanting to be together. A lack of sexual compatibility is a true deal breaker. We need to know right now, up front, before we build any feelings. I've said this 100 times. I'm saying this because I'm talking to a girl for about the last week now, corresponding, texting, video chats, FaceTime, things of this nature, learning about each other 100% and talking about our flaws and where we're going to be in life and everything. So we finally make the decision, let's meet. I'm going to drive 2.5 hours. You drive 2.5 hours, and let's have dinner, a cordial dinner, just get to know each other and have a good time. I tell her, look, when I see you, I'm going to meet you like I've known you for 1,000 years, like I've known you my whole life, because it's just the way I am. You're not a stranger. She says, okay, well, when I see you, just be prepared. I'm going to jump into your arms. Can't wait to see you, hold you, hug you, love you, whatever, kiss you, whatever. Mind you, we're adults. And then, last night she lets me know, oh, by the way, I just want to be honest with you about something. I'm like, yeah, what's up? She goes, I don't enjoy sucking dick. Oh, you beautiful stranger. I'm sorry. I literally will not pursue a relationship with somebody who says something like that. I don't want to teach you. I don't even want to endure it. I've actually been in these types of relationships. Let me tell you, they work. You get a blowjob on your birthday, maybe an anniversary. There's no enthusiasm. There's no desire to please you. It's a shame. So I have to then do the thing that's hardest to do, which is just say, hey, I still want to meet you. Not true. No, we're going to cut it off before this ever happens. No need to even go down this path. It's a waste of time, energy, and effort. It really is. And that's just me being honest, guys. That's just me being as real as it can be.
I feel like people don't talk enough about how important sexual compatibility is. Like, you cannot have physical affection be a commodity in your relationship, because then one person's just going to feel like they're begging or being pushy, and the other person's going to feel like they're like doing something for you. Before you get into anything serious, you need to figure out if your partner wants to be touched and fucked as much as you. And if they don't, you probably shouldn't be together. People will say that's shallow, but if you don't address that ahead of time, that will absolutely be a massive source of strain and disagreement and resentment for your relationship. Like, you should 100% try to figure out as many issues as possible before making the commitment. If you do like physical touch, you cannot get into a scenario where your partner feels like physical affection is a chore. That will end horribly 100% of the time. Like, you need to know if they want to be touched and fucked as much as you, and if they do not, no relationship.